That literally is like Andrew Tate has had unimaginably damaging consequences on American political discourse for an entire generation. Like Andrew, you can look by trade. I track online radicalization specifically on the right. Okay. Why did you stop reacting to the Andrew Tate interview? Did the chatter scare you? Yeah. No, I just moved on because I've already debated the man. There's not much more else to do there. But what I was trying to explain is this, okay? I track online radicalization specifically on the right. There's the Gamergate era. There's the centrist gamers who...
Internet influencer brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate are tonight facing charges here in the UK. The pair are currently awaiting criminal proceedings in Romania surrounding separate allegations. They are then due to be extradited to Britain. Our correspondent Geraint Vincent is with me now. Geraint, what exactly are the pair accused of?
Andrew Tate is...
I don't understand it. Like, it'll never not be insane to me that the Trump administration, or at least someone with enough power in the Trump administration, allowed the Tate brothers to come to the United States of America. Okay? And then in the time frame that he was in the United States of America, Andrew Tate apparently an American citizen. Like, these guys are a threat to themselves. They're a threat to others. Like, they are an endless threat. And now they got another charge in the UK.
Facing 10 charges in relation to 3 alleged victims. Those charges include actual bodily harm, human trafficking, and controlling prostitution for gain. His younger brother Tristan faces 11 charges, including actual bodily harm and human trafficking, and they relate to 1 victim. Both brothers are currently facing a separate prosecution in Romania, as you mentioned. These pictures you're about to see were filmed in Romania last year. The prosecution there involves allegations that they lured girls to Romania where they were sexually exploited. Andrew and Tristan Tate have always denied any wrongdoing. In this country, Andrew Tate also faces a landmark civil claim brought by 4 women. Landmark because it's the first time a claim has been brought against anyone for the crime of coercive control, a claim Andrew Tate also denies. Now, to describe Andrew Tate as an influencer, Lucrezia, is somewhat to underplay his significance, I think. He's got millions and millions of followers on social media. His videos have been viewed hundreds of millions of times, and there have been grave concerns voiced by the police in this country about the misogyny in much of that content.
If you believe everything that's on Google...
Wait, what the why did this come up?
Well, that is your prerogative, my friend. And if you think that makes you sound smart in the modern world after the 3 years we've just been through, to say that I read a piece of paper that tells me to believe X, so I believe X, and I ignore my own personal experiences. And you think
I'm not asking you to ignore your own personal experiences. I'm simply asking you to look at the data.
So let's change the subject because you've just proven your point.
Okay. Andrew, do you believe, well, you didn't really prove anything, but it's cool. Do you believe the earth is flat, or do you believe the earth is spherical, round?
Aldi has his headphones on.
Yeah, oh, he took his headphones off?
He gets very stressed sometimes, and, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. It's important, you know. Sometimes you can't take the heat. Sometimes you can't take the heat, so you got to get out of the kitchen a little bit. Andrew, do you believe the earth is flat or round, spherical, globe?
Round.
You believe it's round, right? But when you walk outside, it feels like it's flat.
Brother, and
it looks flat, it feels flat, but you believe it's round. Why do you believe the earth is round?
Because I have personal experience that would prove to me that the earth is round.
Oh, you have personal experience. What happened? Did you go up to the moon? Is that how you figured it out?
Exactly. I flew up into space and I looked down on Earth and I saw a big circle.
That's crazy. Okay. You don't have to, hey, listen, you don't have to concede on that point, but I think you and I both understand the importance of scientific. The charges are not true. The guy can buy any hole. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Very cool. Famously, rich, wealthy, powerful people never engage in the idea that is conducted simply because you need to fulfill your sexual desires is insane. I already banned that chatter. Okay. Is not about it's not a substitute to masturbation. Okay. People don't because they're like, oh my God, I was really horny and then I ended up raping somebody. People for power, to have power over someone. Didn't you or have sex with a minor that one time? No, what the kind of insane psychopathic fantasies do you have in your mind? What a insane thing to just say. Why are you fantasizing about this? Why is that in your brain? Absolute psychopath. But yeah, with respect to, it's not like stealing food because you're hungry, okay? Didn't take long for the schizos to come out for this one. I know. I'm guessing we did indeed already cover the Mexican dude threatening to dome Trump. No? All the Hustlers University graduates in the chat. The importance of empirical evidence in that one, right? Or you know, science. Okay. You know what's crazy, by the way? Bro, having a debate pro-science, these were dark times. Brother, that was the archetype. I mean, that was the prototype, sorry. That literally is, like, Andrew Tate has had unimaginably damaging consequences on American political discourse for an entire generation. Like, Andrew, you can, look, by trade, I track online radicalization specifically on the right, okay? Why did you stop reacting to the Andrew Tate interview? Did the chatter scare you? Yeah. No, I just moved on because I've already debated the man. There's not much more else to do there. But what I was trying to explain is this, okay? I track online radicalization specifically on the right. There's the Gamergate era. There's the centrist gamers who. There are the centrist gamers who turned far right. Okay, that was a big deal. After rapid radicalization from the initial skeptic community that was built under the George W. Bush administration. George W. Bush administration skeptics, early era online commentators, like first online commentators, quickly turned into, after on George W. Bush for being an evangelical Christian, they very quickly turned into like Islamophobic weirdos under the Obama administration, partially because Obama was black too. That played a role in this. And they kept saying, all these atheist YouTubers kept saying, like, Obama is too kind to the Muslims. He needs to be way worse to the Muslims. Okay, Obama was a great Muslim annihilator, for the record. It's not like he was kind to the Muslims, but because his middle name is Hussein, because he's black, Reddit atheists went crazy mode. Reddit atheists went crazy mode under the Obama administration and radicalized tremendously. Then came Gamergate, where that that coalition built. Okay, that coalition grew. It built on top of the Islamophobia. And it got packaged into the gaming, like the reactionary side of the gaming world. And through that process, you had at least like people that were seeking out, intellectual right-wingers. That formed the intellectual dark web, the Sam Harris, Ben Shapiro, the Weinstein brothers, all these people. They were all trafficking in like, the wokes are coming after me and they want to do cancel culture. And they very successfully shaped an entire generation. They very successfully shaped an entire generation to believe that like every single person, every single version of like the online left was incredibly woke, and they all wanted to do cancel culture. They were all blue-haired SJWs. That's where all those memes came from. Okay? Then came the big wave. The Andrew Tate manosphere adjacent wave. That wave actually cast aside all notions of pseudo-intellectualism in the right wing, okay? No longer did right-wing audiences actually demand even a semblance, a crumb of intelligentsia or a crumb of intelligence. They didn't even want the facts over feeling, okay? All of that was cast aside for visually appealing aesthetics, bravado, machismo. I have a nice car, and I hate women. Okay? I hate women. On the side, you had the COVID truthers that said COVID is both a Chinese bioweapon and also it's utterly inconsequential and you should just raw dog it. But Andrew Tate came after that, right? Came after that wing. Now, the final formation of that is that the gamers are back. They were nascent for a while, but now they're back in a big way, okay? The Gamergate era is back in a major way. And in the post-Andrew Tate world, they are looking at even dumber and dumber versions of right-wing commentary. There was that tweet that went viral yesterday that I think perfectly showcases like the differences in expectations from right-wing audiences versus left-wing audiences. Where is it? It was comparing me and Asmongold, and that went supernova, super viral. Oh, here it is. The Hasan Asmongold dichotomy is fascinating. The left's big streamer has a poli-sci degree and does real activism. Even then, he's pretty divisive on the left. The right's is a guy who played Warcraft and lives in rotten animal flesh who has something to say. Basically, Jesus to them. Genuinely floored how quickly Asmongold went from a guy they're unreasonably defensive to a genuine political thought leader. They actually worship this man who gags at the taste of water and sulks about women in video games not turning him on. Get their ideas from him. And I think now this is the new meta. I think there is like a unknown amount of hikikomoris living in the United States that spend every waking moment online. And now this is the new formation, the roach meta, the new meta of the online right, where it doesn't even revolve around like discernible political opinions, but just pure culture of resentment. It's reactionary politics in its purest form. It is a simple mission of vengeance. Anything and everything that offends the sensibilities of liberals, whether it be literally like looking gross or behaving in a gross manner, that is seen as a virtue on the right. Okay? It's not even a revenge of the nerds. It's more so like a revenge of the grotesque, where being grotesque is now a virtuous thing, where it just showcases how real you are. Back in the day, being incredibly edgy and racist was seen as currency online, currency to showcase how real you were, right? And then there was vice signaling, and then there's always been an anti-intellectualist sentiment associated with this. But now there's something a little bit different than that. There's something on top of that. It is being grotesque. If your smell offends the sensibilities of people around you, that means you're counterculture, that means you're grotesque, and that means you're owning the libs, and that means the revulsion that people feel towards you is actually a good thing. And that's where we arrived at. It's basically like Asmongold is the equivalent of a person who like himself in a crowded area, only to turn around and go, haha, you guys are smelling my shit. You are owned. You are owned by being in my presence, if that makes sense. That is officially where we're at in American politics. It's anti-intellectual, which is held also as a virtue. Being against intellectual thought, being against logic and reasoning is seen as a virtue. Being as edgy and as reactionary and as right-wing and as bigoted as possible is seen as a virtue, because all of those things combined offend people. All of those things combined invoke a negative reaction from people, your enemies specifically. You left out the QAnon era? No, I briefly touched on it as well. QAnon and the anti-vaxxers as well. And it is, I think, snowballed into being as offensive as you possibly can be. I did not realize how much the alpha male narrative was perpetuated in media. It's honestly scary. Officially. You sit on the internet in a panopticon of haters who watch your every move, dudes who can't watch themselves. Yeah. I think it's very interesting though. Like I don't think that this is a sustainable movement. A lot of people who are drama obsessed and have no other way of understanding politics outside of the framework of clout and drama constantly say, Hasan, you're so jealous that Asmongold is the top content creator. Asmongold has always been the top content creator on this platform. He's always been a bigger content creator than me. Him being the face of the modern online right is unironically a good thing, because I still think that there are enough people that live in the normal world and not online, even though online is increasingly taking up more and more space in our lives, that there are still enough people who live in the normal world that find it to be utterly repulsive and disgusting, understandably. So that becoming the face of the modern right, the online right, is ultimately is ultimately the last evolution of the online right. It doesn't get any worse than that. Does that make sense? I think it's ultimately a positive because the likes of Ben Shapiro can traffic in mainstream circles just as easily as they can appear. As a matter of fact, easier in mainstream circles than they can on a PewDiePie video, right? Whereas if that is the role model of the face of the online right as it is now, as it's become now, that's unsustainable. These are people who do not go outside. There is 0% chance that that is a sustainable, long-term right-wing movement. That's it. So a lot of people mistake me laughing about Asmongold being the top right-wing content creator, but considering that I have political convictions, unlike many of my naysayers, and don't simply care about the clout, even though that is what they project upon me, and I simply see charitability and even more relevance, broad relevance, as a vehicle to approach a larger percentage of the population in a friendly manner with my politics, with the hopes that I can change their minds, with the hopes that I can convince them. Because I have a grander political objective in mind and political convictions that I care about more than anything else, that I see this as a wonderful gift, a wonderful natural evolution of reactionary sentiment, basically turning into this inevitable gross outcome. That's it. I think the alpha male thing needs to be reclaimed by normal people sticking up for people who can't stand up for themselves, racist, misogynists, or cowards mostly. I agree. I say that all the time. It is no measure of a strong man to tackle the vulnerable, to go after people who have less than them. That is a weak man. You're not a strong man if you do that. That's not how it works in movies. That's not how it works in literature. That is never how it's worked in the real world. Like, can you imagine having a strongman character designed around like one of these alpha male podcasters?